If your thoughts never seem to stop and you just wish they would, you're not alone. Hi there, my name is Ashley. I'm a mental health expert and I help Christians heal their anxiety using Christ centered neuroscience without the typical just pray more advice. Disclaimer: today's topic is a pet peeve of mine. A common comment I hear from people, especially when they're dealing with ongoing anxiety, is I just want to turn my mind off. I'm dedicating a video to this today because it really gets under my skin how often I hear this. And the reason it upsets me so much is this is not a solution for your anxiety troubles. It's not going to solve anything. That statement alone can keep you in anxiety. On the other hand, I empathize with people when they're in this place because I get it. You're saying it because you're tired, you're looking for relief, you're needing a break, your mind is in overdrive, and you are just wanting to get away from the thoughts. You want the anxiety to stop. And even though it seems very minimal and like a venting moment, our words have power. So I am giving you insights that may completely change how you see this, but also the language that you are using to express yourself when you're experiencing high anxiety. Because turning off your mind is not a solution to your problems. The reason that this statement can be dangerous is because sometimes it's indicative of bigger issues than just, I need a quick break or relief, like most people assume when they hear it. Sometimes it means you feel detached, numb, or you're in a lot of emotional pain. Sometimes it is a way of expressing hopelessness or wish to not be conscious anymore. Sometimes this means I want to stop thinking or feeling altogether because my thoughts feel unbearable. Does that resonate with anyone? I've been there, but I know when I was expressing myself in this way, I was in a really bad mental space. That's a place where you need help. This idea of I just want to turn my mind off can actually lead to a lot of unhealthy coping behaviors. A common one is substance abuse. They're trying to silence all the noise in their mind, but it doesn't even have to go that far. Could be stress eating. Do I have any emotional eaters here? How many of us do that? It could be something as simple as binge watching for hours when you could be doing something much better with your time. Or maybe you're on social media scrolling. So I'm just going to watch entertaining videos and how other people are living their lives. It's a big one, the most accessible one for most of us. Or it could be that you are beating yourself up and saying unkind things to yourself. All of those things can come from this notion of, I want to turn my mind off. And like I said, I know you're venting, but your words have power. So when you say things like that, your brain takes it seriously. It says, okay, you want to turn your mind off, but doesn't do it in the way that you think it will. Because your brain takes this serious, your automation increases and your intentionality decreases. Most of what we do in a day comes from your unconscious realm. So you only have a small pocket of consciousness. And when you say, I just want to turn my mind off, that gets smaller. Now you have this pocket of consciousness, whereas you had this before. You want as much as you can possibly get because it's not much. And your internal alarm system is going to do its job, whether you want it to or not. So when thinking even becomes a danger, you can imagine how much anxiety someone is going to feel because you're trying to avoid an unavoidable. You can't avoid thinking, and it's impossible to turn off your mind. So it's setting our brain up for an impossible feat. What you think starts to influence what you do, how you show up, who you become. We all have to be careful of the language that we're using towards ourselves for exactly that reason. Another important thing I want to mention is that no one's mind actually ever turns off. Let's be literal for a minute. If your mind is turned off, you are not living. Your brains are always active, even when you aren't aware of it. So even though you may think, I'm asleep, my brain is off, your brain is not off. Your brain is doing so much automation behind the scenes. So your mind and your brain and your thoughts, they never actually turn off. You're just not always aware of them. I need you to always know that your mind is alive and going as long as you're breathing and living on this earth. Your mind is alive. You got to accept that. As I said in another video, suppressing thoughts or trying not to think about something, it makes it worse. Your brain is going to pay attention to it because it wants to know, why can't we think about this? What's up with this thought that we're trying so hard to get rid of? It must be dangerous. It must be bad. It must not be good for us. Let's pay attention to it. If you actually want something to stay in your unconscious, don't give it attention. Let it come, let it go. Because the minute you give it attention, now you have brought it into that conscious realm. You have taken a thought that you don't want, you've put it in here, and guess what? Now it's on your mind continually, way more than you ever desired. Once you start to label it, judge it, give attention to it, it's going to stick around. Most people don't realize by saying this comment that they are actually moving themselves deeper in that overwhelm, emotional pain, hopelessness, detachment, and numbness. You think it's giving you relief. You think you're just venting. You think this is going to help you to get that break. It's not. It is taking you further and further out. It's like a tide. It's just taking you way further than you ever want to be. So that's what we know from the neuroscience. And interestingly enough, neuroscience and scripture align in saying, don't try to shut off your mind. You don't need to be just run by your automations and your unconscious mind. It is not good for you. That's what we call autopilot. Living on autopilot is not fun. Your participation in life, your fulfillment, your joy is low. Scripture actually encourages to direct and renew our mind with truth. Everyone watching this video may not be a Christian, so you may say, well, I don't agree with that truth and facts. What truth and what facts do you know? What do you know for certain? Because that's going to help you to move with the intentionality that you need and to help you overcome the anxiety that is so focused on the uncertainties. But when we focus on what's certain, we know that your anxiety levels go down. But for my believers, there's some key verses that tell us what to focus on, tells us what to do instead of trying to shut off our minds, tells us to do the opposite. Hebrews 2:1 says, we must pay the most careful attention, therefore, to what we have heard, so that we do not drift away. Proverbs 4, verses 25 to 26. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. Proverbs 8:33. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Do not disregard it. 1 Timothy 4:16. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Persevere in them, because if you do, you will save both yourself and your hearers. Nowhere in those verses do I hear it say, turn off your mind, don't pay attention, or don't be aware. All of them say, pay attention, keep your mind on, swivel, be conscious of things. So turning off your mind is not the solution. You need to pivot and say, what am I giving attention to? Am I giving more attention to my fears and what I don't know? So you're not turning off your mind, you're pivoting, you're redirecting, you're renewing it with what is true. So we got to find other ways to vent and express ourselves when it comes to this anxiety. If you want to know what things should I be giving attention to, go look up Philippians 4:8. It talks about focus on what is noble, what is right, what is trustworthy. Gives a whole list. Other phrases that you can use to express yourself that still authentically communicate where you're at, but don't do as much harm. I'm overwhelmed and I need a break from what I'm doing. My brain feels overworked. I need help calming my mind. I need to rest and decompress. My mind feels busy right now. If you're mentally exhausted, say, I don't have the bandwidth right now. Simple statements, just acknowledging what's going on. Even if you're saying that to yourself, this is why I'm sharing this with you all today. A simple statement can lead to anxiety-filled life. This is not meant to condemn. We got to do some mindset work to really point you in the direction that will actually get you results and actually get you solutions. And that's what most of my videos are about. They are, how do you pivot in the right direction so that you can get solutions and results to these aspects of unresolved anxiety? Because otherwise, we stay stuck in them. And a lot of the anxiety tips or the anxiety education out right now, it misses these steps that make such a difference in your anxiety. So you're trying your hardest. You're doing all the strategies. You're doing all the self-care. You're doing all the recommendations. And yet you're still anxious. That's because you're missing these key important elements, these small things that can be the difference between you being anxious all day and you being anxious for a moment. Imagine that. If anxiety was not your daily friend. If you're saying, I just want to turn my mind off, I want you to actually stop and say, is any of those things that Ashley described relevant for me? Do I want to stop feeling or thinking? Am I that emotionally overwhelmed that I just want everything to stop? Do I feel detached, numb, or like I want to disappear? What thoughts are getting power because I'm giving attention to them? That is the question for all of us to ask. Because this is going to allow you to really get honest with yourself about where you are mentally. And sometimes we just say these things and we breeze through and we say, oh, I'm fine, I don't need help, I'm good. But if you're experiencing those, I encourage you to get help. I hope this video really gave you some clarity and understanding that it is possible to heal your anxiety. I fully believe that for you. It is possible. It used to be my reality. The anxiety was always there. Now it's not. I see so many people just live with it. We don't have to just put up with it. If this conversation helped you or made something click, share this with a friend because you never know who this could encourage or support. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate you all tuning in today, and I'll see you in upcoming videos.